if you're not
good people, how y'all doing today?
If you're not familiar with that song, you must have been living under a rock.
Yeah.
Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, out in Facebook land as well as YouTube land. Welcome to another edition, actually episode 11 of That's My Story. So we want you to come on in, get yourselves comfortable. We got Ray Parker Jr. on tonight. If this is your first time on, give us a like or a heart, whatever you can do. Drop us a comment and let us know where you're chiming in from. Much across the United States as well as the UK and the rest of the world. I go by the name of Jerry Midas Hardison. Joining me are my fellow co-hosts, the illustrious Miss Shelly Clark White from the Honeycomb, also the wife of legendary bass player for the Earth, Wind and Fire, Mr. Verdine White. We also have Mr. Brandon Stevens from Chairmen of the Board, and also Mr. Ken Knox from the Chairmen of the Board. How you guys doing today?
Doing great. How y'all?
I'm excited. I'm excited about tonight's show.
Yeah, I think
so. Let me make sure. Go ahead.
All them records behind Shelly. All those plaques.
A lot of records. That's a lot of platinum back there.
Honeycomb. Wait,
yes,
just get the record straight. Just to get the record straight, Honeycomb had Go Records before Earth, Wind and Fire. Now.
All right.
That's
there you go.
That's definitely what's up. Yes, indeed. So, yeah. So, again, just to reiterate, if you're over here at YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe to the official Chairman of the Board page. So as we drop new content weekly, you can be the cool kid and be the first to be notified amongst your friends. How's everything looking on you guys in? The video working properly and all of that? Okay, very good. Very good. All right. So I guess, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, please help me welcome musician, singer, songwriter, record producer, and actor. We all been waiting for this gentleman all week. Help me welcome Mr. Ray Parker Jr. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. And so much more. Hey, Ray, what's going on, buddy? You doing all right today?
Going pretty good.
Man.
What's going on, Ray?
We're doing well.
Yeah, man.
Doing well. Good to have you.
Absolutely. It's good to be here. Half of me's in Detroit, half of me's in LA, right?
Yes, sir.
There you go.
And speaking of Detroit, we got a fellow Detroit guy here, Mr. Ken Knox.
There you go.
Yeah, Ken.
He's got his hat on. I got my shirt on here.
Yeah. We matching.
Right.
So with that being said, I'm gonna pass it over to Ken.
So Ray.
Okay.
Huh? So Ray, you were born and raised in Detroit. So what was it like growing up, in the Motor City for you?
But for me, I didn't play no sports because that was like off limits. All we did was practice music, since age 6. And Ollie Brown lived upstairs, Nathan Watts lived down the street, Linwood lived around the block. So our whole neighborhood was just music, and more music.
And you're right. I was talking to a cousin of mine who's a musician, and we spoke on every block had at least 3 or 4 musicians.
Exactly. Yep. And there were lots of places to play in the 60s and 70s. I mean, they had all the nightclubs, 20 Grand and Driftwood, 876, all that stuff, Latin Quarter, all that stuff was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. So did you graduate from Northwestern?
Yeah, I guess you could call it that. I went to Cass Tech for a year. Then they told me if I wanted to see the 11th grade, I'll leave there. So then I ended up at Northwestern. But when I graduated, it was pretty sad. My parents they were a little depressed with me. I had a 1.4 average or something.
Oh my.
Yeah. Wow. I don't think I was stupid. I was just in the studio recording with Chairman of the Board and the Honeycomb. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I understand that.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
I think we have a graduation picture.
Oh my gosh. I thought I burned all those pictures.
Oh yeah, that's nice. That's nice, man. It's
nice. Yeah, well, at least you graduated.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. I went to college for a little bit, first year.
Where'd you go?
Lawrence Institute of Technology.
Lawrence Institute, yeah, man. Every musician I knew tried to get up in there.
Yeah.
So I went to the rival school. I went to Western.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And so the thing is, I remember, you remember Roland Christian, right?
Absolutely, very well.
Yes. Roland brought me over to your house, man. What street was that?
Virginia Park.
Virginia Park.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Virginia Park, was that an incident during the Detroit riots?
Yeah, that was on Virginia Park.
Oh, man, yes.
The Algiers Motel you're thinking about. That was on Virginia Park in Woodward.
Yes.
And then shortly after that, I mean, the police beat me up on the way to Cass Tech at the bus stop.
Oh, my God.
In the alley, I thought that was it.
Well, don't we have a clip of Ray talking about this?
All right.
Yeah, man, Detroit. I love the city of Detroit. A lot of opportunities, but I do recall the summer of '67, Detroit riots, the brutality and the racial thing at the time, and the police. Is wow. That was an experience to me. I remember the riots were centered on Woodward Avenue and Virginia Park being the main street. I grew up on Virginia Park, the exact same street. 4 or 5 policemen came out, drew their guns, and they were saying stop. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, somebody's in trouble. So, you're looking around. I was just about to get on the bus. I'm looking around to see what's happening. And they were actually pointing the guns at me. And so they dragged me to the alley. And they're just beating them. These 4 big guys. Some are holding me up like this, and they're just punching me with their fists, punching me in my ribs, punching me on my back, trying to figure out why are they doing this. And I'm asking, what did I do? And you got the wrong guy. I guess I never will know. I never will know why they selected me. I just got a beat down just because I was there at the bus stop going to school. And so, I don't know, playing the guitar, that was my ticket out. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Yeah, wow, that's incredible that you, it's a shame you had to go through that, but that was that life. When the riots hit, there was tanks going to the street. Remember all that?
I know tanks. I tell people that tanks and everything was going.
Yeah, tanks.
And that was just that time. That wasn't the only time, but that was just that time.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So you've been through that type of experience on more than one occasion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Did that change you any, or how did
I think so. Made me maybe look at things a little safer. I wouldn't stop my car for anybody until I get to a major intersection with some people there. You just learn
Yeah.
So you learn them fast too.
All right, Brandon.
Well, Ray, you were part of the house band at the 20 Grand, led by Mr. Bohannon, the Bohannon band at 20 Grand. So now the Spinner saw you when you were 20 years old. I mean, not 20 years old, at the 20 Grand, I'm sorry. And they liked the way that you played the guitar. And you actually went on the road with the Spinners, opened up for the Rolling Stones. And then at the age of 16, you co-wrote your first songs with Marvin Gaye. And some of that material I really enjoy personally, the Bohannon stuff with Marvin Gaye, the double clutch.
Yeah, double clutch.
Stuff. Yeah, that's some cool stuff right there. So talk a little bit about that, being part of the Bohannon band.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I met the Spinners before Bohannon, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I was like 13, 14, and they came over my house and they'd asked my mom, could I go on tour? And tour was like going to Indiana, Illinois, Indianapolis, that kind of thing. And I had to be back Monday for school. And then I started playing, local 876, Latin Quarter, and other stuff. And that's where Bohannon heard me at about 14 and a half. And he said, boy, I like the way you play. Can you play with us big boys at the 20 Grand? And I know, I'd already been at the Drift, at the Gold Room and the other room, Fireside. Oh, yeah. I never played in the Drift where the big boys play. That's what all the acts were. So he brought me into that thing. And I sat right next to James Jamerson. Didn't even know who he was at the time. Wasn't that big deal. He was just the old guy playing the bass. And then from there, that's where Bohannon got us in with Marvin Gaye, and we did a whole album.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow, that's great. And which album was that you did with Marvin Gaye?
I don't know. He just released bits and pieces of it. It's like he went off to go or something in the middle of it. But we recorded a whole month, so we had a bunch of songs.
Oh wow!
It's in that group with Double Clutch and all that stuff. You know, that's just him messing around. Yeah, we were kicking it.
Yeah,
awesome. Nice.
It's exciting when you're 15 years old. You go to Studio Cut, and then you go over Marvin's house near Illinois and listen to the tracks on his Tannoy speakers with Macintosh amps. That's
Wow. What was that process like, Ray? If you don't mind, just kind of like the studio session or the creative process.
Yeah, well, back then, this was all recorded at Golden World Studios, which was a really nice studio in Detroit, maybe the nicest one. And the gangster guy, Ed Wingate, owned it. You know,
absolutely.
Yeah, number one. So Ed ended up selling the company back, selling it to Motown at some point. And Edwin Starr was on that label, Detroit Emeralds, Fantastic Four. He had all of those acts. So this studio is where we cut Marvin's stuff at. By that time, it was Golden World B. And let me tell you, man, it was wonderful. Bob Olson was the engineer. And Marvin would just write the songs and create it right in the studio while we were all sitting there. So we'd come up with parts, which is why we all got writers on the song. We'd all join in together and just make it happen. And we did that every day for about a month, even on Saturdays and Sundays.
Wow!
I made so much money, my mother and them thought I was selling drugs. So they walk, follow me around to see what kind of I was getting into.
Wow, that's all right, man. Okay,
that's really cool. That's really cool. All right, so Shelly, I'll pass it over to you.
Okay, thank you. I know. I'm proud to be able to say that I knew you at 16 years old when you were the featured guitarist on Hot Wax label, doing all that stuff over there.
Yeah.
Seasoned guitar player. I mean, you were playing with seasoned guitar players at 16, so that was a phenomenon. Just talk a little bit about that, and then I'm going to show a clip.
Yeah, that time I was the young guy coming in, but we had Robert White who was there sometimes. Eddie Willis was there more than normal. Quite, he was one of the regulars. And every now and then we had Dennis Coffey there. So I got to play on a lot of Chairmen of the Board records, even Patches, Honeycomb, One Ass, Laura Lee, Frida Payne. So it was a lot of good bands there. McKinley Jackson and the Politicians.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, it was known that you had this very unique signature sound and the style of playing where everybody wanted you. But I'm glad you were at Hot Wax and helped us get a bunch of gold records. So we're gonna play One Ads because it's very unique, your sound on that. So Tazz, can you put up that clip?
One of my favorite hits.
Hey, gold records.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. What? I'm going to the
Yeah, man.
That's a heck of a song. I mean, the lyric is ridiculous.
I'm glad.
It's really ridiculous.
I'm glad they changed those lyrics. I think the first ones was wanted. Gonna put it in One Ads. I got some love for sale.
Oh no, not for sale. No.
Yeah, we can't roll with that one.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And actually, the guitar part is very dominant.
Yeah,
very dominant in that track. Yeah,
when it does that percussive stuff, that's McKinley Jackson.
Oh, okay.
He's all his songs. He had those, you know, little breaks and those little rhythm stuff going on.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
As you may or may not know, we had McKinley on the show a week or two ago, and he couldn't talk enough about you. And so complimentary, everything. I wanted to know, where did you meet him, and did he bring you to Hot Wax?
Well, believe it or not, Sylvester Rivers actually opened the door for me, because he was already playing the piano there, and we went to school together. And I kid you not, for about 2 months, I stayed home every time y'all had a session, just in case the guitar player would get sick. I said, he's got to get sick sooner or later. If not, we're going to shoot him. You know, but he's got to go. You know? So there was one day, I guess Sylvester brought my name up a few times, and the guitar player didn't show up. And they said, you know, somebody said, hey, call that guy Sylvester knows that he's been asking for. And then Tony Newton says, call that guy Sylvester said, you know, something like that I hear. And that's the day I came in. And I forgot what song we're playing on. But after that, McKinley Jackson called me back to do some overdubs. And it was on a tune called Everything Good is Bad and Everything Bad is Good. And we laid out so many guitars on there. I said, I think he likes me, or else I'd be out of here already. You know.
Right.
Yeah. Good then.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. I'm gonna toss it over to Midas.
Okay. Well, before I get into my next question, I got a question preceding my next question. How did you get into playing guitar, Ray?
Well, I was playing the clarinet and saxophone for a long time, like 6 years old to 10 or 11 years old. And I just got tired of blowing, you know, I just, it wasn't my thing, this blowing thing. And I didn't have any ideas on the saxophone or the clarinet. When the music stopped, I stopped. And then my brother got one of those cheap guitars for Christmas, little nylon string guitars. And man, I heard more than one note at a time. I heard chords. Oh, that was it. I found that was my destiny.
So you self-taught.
Yeah, I picked it up and just practiced every day, all days, you know, till I got really, really good at it.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome, man. Okay, so which leads me into my next segment. So you toured and collaborated with Stevie Wonder and Barry White. Give us a little bit of what that experience was like.
Stevie Wonder, that's the turning point of everything right there, because he taught me how to really write songs, put the instruments down on tape, how to go in the studio, how to work the console, how to work a 4-channel tape recorder with sync heads and all that kind of stuff. And I was also noticing how he was doing his records, where he was writing all the songs and producing and doing everything. I was like, oh, if I want to make money like Stevie Wonder, I know I got to do all of those things.
Do everything, right?
Not that I thought I was ever going to be Stevie Wonder, but if I could do 5% of Stevie Wonder, I'd be good. I mean,
yes, it
would be good, you know?
Yes,
so he was the one that taught me all that. Then I got to LA and met Barry White, and man, was this a nice guy, you know, because I was at the beginning of my songwriting career, just a few songs, and he didn't need my song, but he was kind enough to really listen to it, and he liked the music, and so he put a couple of those on his records, and he sold millions of records. You know? Awesome.
And we have a picture of you and Stevie Wonder. And so Stevie was running the console and everything. You know what the rumor is, right?
What? I ain't heard this one.
I'm gonna leave that alone. No, I'm just saying Stevie running the console. You know, it's a rumor circulating. You know that people say he can see. So I'm just messing with you. I'll just messing.
Had him behind the wheel of a car with me in the passenger seat. I know he can't see.
That's just internet rumors. I just threw that out there for entertainment purposes.
A couple of girls he chose too.
True indeed. All right, I digress. I'm gonna pass it back to Ken.
You're right.
So I guess after you got tired of writing and playing on other people's records, you decided to do your own thing, start your own group?
Well, I sort of want to do my own thing a long time ago, but I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So, you know, I was noodling at it the whole time. I would actually go in the studio and rent this stuff. I told those guys not to call me here.
Who you gonna call?
But
they calling you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was always, even at HDH, I rent studio time from Bonnie Perkins and go in and try and record something, even as early as like 16, 17 years old. I just didn't have a clue as to what I was doing. I had to learn from everybody else. Then I thought, you know, as I kept writing songs, they kept getting better. They all sound the same to me, but I guess they were getting better. I didn't know they were getting better. They were getting better. And all of a sudden things took off.
So you formed Radio then?
Yeah, then I formed radio shortly after that, after I started writing some songs for other people. And then, boy, that was a good idea. Then I actually learned how to sing myself. And the first song I sang all the way through was The Woman Needs Love, and that was on the 4th radio album. Yeah.
Nice. I remember when, let's see, yeah, Arnell Carmichael. Right?
Yeah, Arnell, Jerry Knight, who's passed. Fatback, Larry Talbert. He's my next door neighbor.
Yeah, man, Mr. Guy. Yes.
That's my next door neighbor, Larry Talbert.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I understand that on the Midnight Special, Jack and Jill was shown on that first release. Is that right?
Yeah, we did. I think we had a Midnight Special a few times.
Okay. Yeah. We were all watching. But yeah, so from there, you said a woman needs love like you do. Well, I mean, your catalog is pretty hefty.
Yeah, that's like 6 or 7 gold and platinum albums in there, you know.
Nice.
Which has been it's been all over signed by those. Be like, well, where did he come from? Does he do anything? You know, like, yeah, he's been around the block a few times.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pass it on over to wait a minute. Then you did a name change. You changed to Ray Parker Jr. and radio. Yeah. How did that come about?
Well, Clive Davis did that. You know, people kept leaving the band and you get new members of the band. So first it was radio, then 2 guys quit. Then he said, well, I better put Ray's name out. Then it was Ray Parker Jr. radio. Then some more guys quit. It was switching around. He said, screw that. I'm going with Ray Parker Jr. And he wanted to do that from day one. It was me who wanted to have a band.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you know, that's natural.
Yeah.
You know, your boys and stuff like that. I get it.
Yeah.
But business is business.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a photo of that.
Business is business.
Yeah.
And so A Woman Needs Love went to number 4. I think we talked about it already. Yeah. And number 1 on the R&B charts for 2 weeks. And you were the first Black artist to venture into music videos.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah,
I always put a video on us. I remember Jack and Jill. You know, when I first heard about a video, I didn't even know what it was. What do you mean you're gonna film us while we're doing it? You know,
Yeah.
You give her like a lot of thought. Then after that, it just kept getting bigger and bigger. We had a video every year.
Yeah, sweet. I think we have a video clip of Jack and Jill.
Yeah, those clothes. If I listen to that, I can hear Valerie Jones clear as a bell on there.
Oh man! Wow. So Jones Girls doing it was on just Valerie from the Jones Girls.
Just Valerie. Yeah, I can hear her voice clear as a bell on there.
Nice. Wow. In the mix, huh?
Yeah.
We got Shirley coming on in August.
Yeah, she's on. Valerie's on most of my records, so
okay.
I miss her dearly.
Yeah, it's part of the secret sauce.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think we also have another clip of A Woman Needs Love.
Or
a woman needs love just like you do. Hey, don't get yourself into thinking that she don't. She can fool around just like you do. Unless you give her all the loving she wants. When her eyes are begging for affection, don't put her off, don't make her wait, and don't try to give her that worn out excuse about being tired and working late. I tell you, one day you'll come home early from work, open up the door and get your feelings hurt because she needs it. Just like you do. A woman's got to have it. Whoa, yeah, just like you.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a lot of trouble for that song, man. You know.
Oh yeah.
Some of the guys are hating on me. I mean, you know, it was like, what are you talking about there?
Yeah. just trying to be fair, right?
Yeah, that song took us somewhere else, you know.
But you know, it's good to acknowledge those things. Now, I know a lot of our viewers will recognize the musical style of that song, which you also produced a song by the iconic R&B group called Mr. Telephone Man by
right?
A lot
of people don't know that, but Telephone Man was written first, and I didn't like it, so I kept the groove and stuff and changed and put the lyrics to A Woman Needs Love, you know. Then that here, and then later the New Edition heard, you know, Mr. Telephone Man. They were like, "Can you cut it like the old track? We don't want you to make it new. Cut it like the old track." I said, "Well, that track is like 7, 8 years old, you know." So, I went back to the old lyrics I had was Mr. Telephone Man, put them on it. And after that, I'm like, man, I should have sang that song. What was I thinking about? I don't know what the heck. That's that away for, you know. But they had a big hit with it. You know, now it's like probably my second best copyright of all time.
Wow.
They hear that song everywhere, you know.
It's got a very distinct sound.
Yeah.
When I, you know, A Woman Needs Love. Yeah, I heard that groove. I was like, yeah, that's
same groove.
That's cool.
You got that feeling. So, Shelly, I think it's on you.
Okay, I want to take it back for a minute. Also, did you have a song out called "You Can't Change That"?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I think we have a clip.
You got a clip? Oh, play that clip. Yeah, let's see what it is.
You're the only one I need, and you can't change that. You're the one I love, girl. Now you can try if you want to. Try me, baby. Woo! No, you can't change that. You're the one I love. You can try, but you can't change that. You're the one. Now you can change your telephone number, and you can change your address too. But you can't stop me from loving you. No, you can't change that. 'Cause you're the only one I love, and you can't change that. You're the one I love. You're the only one I need, and you can't change that. I need you, baby. You're the only one I love, and you can't change that.
Nice.
And the hit keep coming.
Now that one I got lucky with because I actually wrote that song because Billy Henderson of the Spinners asked me to write them a song. So I thought about, well, I always like that Rubber Band Man bass kind of thing, you know, on Rubber Band Man. And I said, I like the melody of some of their other songs, games people play and that sort of thing. And I thought, well, I'm gonna make it like that, you know, all that kind of stuff was in it. But I want the Rubber Band Man don't on the bottom. And I came up with Can't Change That. And I thought for sure this is a shoe-in. Played it for Billy. He says, we don't know if that sounds like quite like a suspended. I said, don't sound like it. I said, don't sound like it. I cut it myself, and like a year or so later, he came over to me and says, boy, we should have cut that song, huh?
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up with that one.
Yeah, nice.
Wow.
Great.
Oh, you played bass on that song too, Ray?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw the technique.
Yeah.
So
that's me in the video, but on that song, I actually played the drums, the bass, the piano, the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right, man.
That's all.
Jack Dash for playing that tambourine thing, we're giving it that hip hop feel on it.
Yeah.
Well, I know we mentioned the group Radio, spelled R-A-Y, right?
Yeah.
D-I. I think we have a photo.
Yes.
Of that group.
Yeah.
Now I put my name in it. Oh boy.
Yeah. Hey, that's very clever. Like radio. Very clever.
Yeah.
Look how skinny I am in that picture. You know what I'm saying? And all that black hair. Look at that rich, thick black hair. Come on.
Yeah. Good old days.
Yes, indeed.
That's cool. That's cool.
Right. Okay, well, moving forward, because I know we're trying to get everything in. Your career goes on and on. We want to talk a little bit about the solo career you launched. That was like around 1981.
Yeah, 81 is when I met another woman. Yeah, the solo career. Right. I didn't know I was having a solo career, but it just happened. You know, people kept quitting and all that kind of stuff. And so I wanted to cut something different. You know, after Woman Needs Love, I'd been the good kid. So then I kind of wanted to write a bad song. So that was the other woman. That was sort of a true story. Actually, Shelly, that's about your buddy Sandy. That's,
Uh-oh. She is being spilled.
Yeah, that's my story exclusive.
Let's put a face to that, to the gossip. Right? Let's put a name and a face to the gossip. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of her in that song.
Okay.
That's scared to spill the tea.
You heard it right here, folks.
I must have had too much glass of wine before this interview. I don't know. Can I take that back?
Hey, wow. It's all right, man. It's all right. You get it off your chest, you know?
There you go. Yeah, let it agree.
Hey, Ray, as a songwriter, is it true that the best songs come from real life experiences?
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be your own, though. You ain't got to live it.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
If your best friend lived it, he's crying over it, you can write about it, you know?
Exactly.
Makes sense.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The other woman, that was a very, I want to say, unique video. Also, you chose like a Halloween theme.
Yeah.
When you did that, where did you get that idea from?
There was a director who came up with that, and they sent us to England to film it. So we're actually really in that castle and all that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And then what was interesting is they wouldn't show that in America right off because they were scared. The director didn't get a mixed group of girls, so they were like all white girls, and that was a problem at the time. So we actually shot a second video, and in that video is a friend of mine in Apollonia. That's the first time you get to see her on screen. She's in the video as well.
Oh, okay.
So we got two. The other one.
Wow. Apollonia?
Yeah.
The Apollonia.
Wow.
Yeah, but she wasn't the Apollonia then, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Sure.
Okay. You're a lucky guy.
We have a clip. We have a clip.
We do have a clip.
Makes me wanna grab my guitar and play with it all night long. She blew my mind. Tell me, if anybody else out there ever fell in love with the other woman? Oh, with the other woman. Oh, say I'm in love with the other woman. With the other woman.
Yeah.
I love the black look.
Blackula.
Yeah. And that's a real castle we're in England. I mean, that place was, I'm glad there was more people there. It's a huge house somebody had, but it was spooky as heck.
That's awesome.
It's one of those houses where you look at it in the movie and you say, how did they end up there? And what stupid person is going to spend the night here? You know? Well, that was right. How did I get here?
Yeah. Sam in the castle.
Well, you had, I want to just mention you had 6 top 40 hits in that era. And then now I'm going to pass it to Brandon.
6 top 40 hits. Yeah. I mean, the list of accomplishments is just, man, you need a sheet of paper a mile long. But I just want to say on a personal note, I'm really fascinated by your ability to mix rock and funk and R&B with just a really easily digestible pop feel. You know, that's something that's very rare for I mean in popular music in general, to be able to mix different genres like that and make them, sing together really well and not have anything that sounds like it's forced. It's just like a natural touch that you got. So
well, just know I had no idea what the heck I was doing. That's the best way. So before you make me into this genius that I'm not, I was just having a good time.
Okay. Hey, well, hey, you had a good time, and I guess the most important thing is that as you were trying to figure things out, you were just being honest with the music that you were writing.
Honest with the music.
Yeah. So we're gonna take it back to my childhood days, or Midas' childhood days. 1984, the movie, the blockbuster, Ghostbusters, which you wrote and produced the infamous theme song, which went #1 on for 3 weeks on Billboard, and 2 weeks it was #1 on the R&B charts. And it was also the first movie-themed song to get a lot of airplay on MTV. And as we all know, in the early days of MTV, they didn't play black artists at all. Nope. So you were nominated for a Academy Award for Best Original Song, and you got a Grammy for Ghostbusters for the Best Pop Instrumental Performance. So talk a little bit about how the song and that opportunity came about.
Well, there was a guy named Gary Lamel who just passed, who's Shelly's friend Sandy, we were talking about earlier, used to work for. It's all part of the same thing. So link it all together.
It's all tied
in
together.
Just waiting on the gossip to happen. I feel you. I feel you hanging on the edge of this again. So anyway, I was going out with her, and she was working for him at the temp thing. But me and him knew each other from the Barry White days, because he was Barry White's publisher over at Aaron Schroeder. So he had stuff to do there. So he thought I would be the perfect guy to write the song for this film. Maybe he saw that other woman video, the spooky one. Maybe he saw a little bit of that. But he came to me and says, "You're the perfect guy to do this. You got to do this for him." So he hired me to do it. They only had a few days left because the Ghostbuster film was done and scheduled to be released, and they still didn't have a song with the words Ghostbusters in it.
Wow.
So I remember at the time they were so desperate, they paid me $50 grand just to write the song. Not even have to record it, just write the song and play us, a little bit of it. And it wasn't going to be a record. It was only 20 or 30 seconds of it over the library scene. Okay. So that's what it was supposed to be. And the hard part, where the money didn't get so easy, you got to put the word Ghostbusters in the music, which was almost impossible. I mean, you never know how the song goes, so it's not fair. But if you were singing it, I'm a Ghostbuster, I mean, it's terrible. No matter how you sing, right? So the best idea I come up with was to not sing it at all. Let somebody else sing it that ain't on the record, and that way it's separate from the record. And then I just sing the part that's Who You Gonna Call, because I remember a segment of the film, they had the phone number underneath the 4 guys.
Oh man, okay.
I said, well, this is the idea. You don't do it. You call the Ghostbusters, and then the Ghostbusters resolve your problem for you. So it's really Who You Gonna Call, question and response thing. And the director liked that so much. He said, make that song longer, So but took off from there. It was very interesting.
Yeah. Oh man, that's pretty cool.
I never thought about that part.
Oh yeah,
the chant part.
So why don't we take a look at the video clip for Ghostbusters?
I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Don't get caught alone, no. Ghostbusters! When it comes through your door, unless you just want some more, I think you better call Ghostbusters! Ow! Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Think you better call Ghostbusters! Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! I can't hear you. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Louder! Ghostbusters! Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Who can you call? Ghostbusters! Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters!
Yeah,
that's the video.
Yeah.
Bill Murray. Wow. Bill Murray attempting to break dance on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That wasn't hurt. See, they threw that in the last minute.
Wow.
So
Ray, down, he told me spin his leg. I said, I got you, bro.
Yeah, nice.
So Ray, was that Charles Green on sax?
Yeah, Charles Green, exactly. It's only one sax, and it's Charles Green. The other part is guitar part, one synthesizer, one saxophone. Sounds like a horn section, but it's just one saxophone and one synthesizer. Playing one note, too.
Wow. Yeah. Man, that's pretty cool. And I say, Ray, you say you don't want us to make you out as a genius, but I have to say those are quite genius ideas right there. And also, just, you know, the way that you solved the problem of getting around singing Ghostbusters by having people chant the word. I mean, that's what a big part of what made the song so memorable.
Yeah. Pulls you in.
So yeah, great idea. So now you in that video and the stars of that movie, all those guys, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Rick Moranis, those guys were like 80s comedy icons in the movie. So
Saturday Night Live crowd.
Well, I guess that rubbed off on you a little bit. And did that actually spawn you into kicking off your acting career?
Yeah, a little bit. Then I cut my own movie. Then I did a bunch of other things, some sitcoms, you know, some serial stuff. But you know what? The acting thing for me is a little difficult. Like they make you go to wardrobe at 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock. Then nobody come to your trailer till noon. It's like, like I'm used to my music time. We get on it and hit it.
Yeah, right away.
Everything was dragged out. And I never forget this one scene I did. I was ready always to do the love scene. I mean, every guy at home dreams about it. But when you do the love scene, you think you already picked out the girl who you think you're doing the love scene. But it don't go like that.
Nah.
It don't go like that, you know. And so, this girl, and she was cute enough. That wasn't the problem. But I could see her backstage. She's putting lipstick all over her face. I mean, just you know. And then she gave me a kiss, and the lipstick was on my nose, my thing.
Oh my gosh!
Man, but they done made my makeup for an hour. So they said, "Okay, you're gonna take another take, fix red, and that's gonna take a half an hour to put the makeup back on, take the facial stuff off, breathe back on smooth." And it's just, you know, it was less performance and acting than it was waiting and accommodating, you know, and getting ready. Yeah, I'd rather just plug my guitar and let's get this on.
Get to it, right?
Get to it. So the acting thing, I think I could have done more, but it just didn't hit me the right way. You know?
Yeah, and you were on one of my sister's favorite childhood shows, which actually got me interested into this particular show. Give Me a Break.
Oh yeah, I remember Give Me a Break with Nell Carter. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
And see, that was fun.
And we actually
we sang the Donna Summer song together. That was a good show. And that was my car in the show, by the way.
Oh really? Okay.
The turbo Porsche. That was my car. They let me drive my own car. Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's all right. Right. And then we have a picture with you and one of the co-stars. Miss Thelma Hopkins. I think she played Addie on the show. If I'm
She's from Detroit too, y'all.
Oh, she's from Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Her and what's the other girl? Two sisters. They did a lot of background work.
Yeah, they're both of them with Tony Orlando and Dawn.
That's right. Tony Orlando and Dawn.
Yeah.
You were also on. I got my list here, so I don't make a mistake. Pryor's Place, right?
Oh yeah, Pryor's Place. I wrote the theme song, so I'm in the video with Richard Pryor. We had a good time. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, man.
A lot of things here. We got the Disorderlies, which I saw as a kid.
Yeah,
with the Fat Boys. I like clapping.
Bro, I used to watch that movie. I used to roll over.
That's hilarious. Yeah, we also got Enemy Territory in 1987.
Star of that film. And everybody in that film turned out to be famous. I mean, Tony Todd is in it. What's the girl?
Stacey Dash.
Yeah, Stacey Dash is in it. I mean, it's a whole bunch of people was in that film.
Yeah, and Gary Frank. And you know what? We actually have a clip that could possibly jog the memory a little bit.
Here we go.
Coming up short.
think he's gone. This guy offered me. Shut up, man. Shut up. Hey, shut up. Quiet. It's me, man. Will Jackson, telephone company. Right? Will Jackson. What's your name? Come on, tell me your name. You know your name? Huh? Come on, tell me your name. You can do it, man. Come on, hold yourself together. You can make it. I'm gonna take my hand down, all right? Count to 3. I want you to just tell me your name, okay? 1, 2, 3. Now tell me your name. Come on, man, don't let me down. All right. All right, man. It's gonna be all right. Okay?
Wow.
Two more seconds, I would have just shot him anyway. They didn't have to be hitting him. Detroit would have came out on him in them seconds. 2 more seconds.
Yeah, it's on the surface, right? Let's see. We also
was that in the 90s? When was that?
That was in New York, in the projects in New York. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Just to finish out the list of some of your acting credits, we got Terms of Enrollment, Behringers.
Yeah.
Then also Uptown Saturday Night in 1974.
That's the sleeper, by the way, because that was my first job coming to LA. I got to hang out with Bill Cosby. And a lot of people look at that, and they look at it now, years later, and go, that looks like Ray Parker Jr. standing there.
Yeah.
And I'm like 18, 19 years old. They were holding the red guitar that my dad bought me, you know. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, not only was Bill Cosby in it, we got Harry Belafonte was in there.
That's right, yeah.
Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
Flip Wilson, as well as Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
So, you know, I'm hanging with the crowd, the right crowd.
I mean, that's all legends right there.
All legends. And then so anything you want to say about that experience? And we do have a clip to follow up.
Oh, that experience was wonderful, by the way. Calvin Lockhart knocked me off the band stage, but he was the ladies' man, the famous actor at the time, so I guess he's entitled to do that. He can't do that now. You know, I got something for him. You know? I remember, you know, I had worked with Bill Cosby in Detroit, and Bill Cosby used to come to 20 Grand Here's, so I wanted to reconnect with Bill Cosby. But at the shoot, it was so many people between me and him, it was never going to happen. So I remember that he liked Cuban cigars. So the next day I went to downtown LA, bought some illegal Cuban cigars for over $100 a box at the time, which was a lot of money back then. And all I did was go back to the film set and hold up the cigars over my head like this. Finally, he's looking around. Finally, he looked over my way, and all I had one cigar, and I'm holding up the box. And he looked like that. Next thing I know, he went, "Yeah, come on over here."
Yeah.
He sat me down, he took the cigar, ran it under his nose. Meet me at the Lighthouse. So he had me come sit in with his band and, you know, come jam. So that's how I actually hooked back up with Bill Cosby, is buying him some illegal Cohiba Cuban cigars.
And put up the smoke signal.
That's right. Put up the smoke signal. That's right.
Sir. All right. So we got a clip from that particular movie here, the picnic scene.
Maybe we can get into the trunk through the back seat. everybody on the field. Come on now, baseball game is about to start. All you players on the field.
It just occurred to me. I thought I was holding the red guitar. I'm holding the black guitar that Stevie Wonder bought me. That's what that guitar is. Okay. All the time I keep thinking I'm holding the red guitar, but I'm looking at it and I'm holding the black guitar. Even I don't know what I'm looking at. It's been so long.
These video clips are coming in handy as we take a stroll down memory lane.
I'm telling you, this is wonderful.
And you also had 21 Jump Street as part of your acting credits, which I used to watch all the time as a youth as well. I think it came on Sunday nights, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, in my area growing up, I used to be on there. Holly Robinson and God, I can't think. Johnny Depp, and I forget the rest of the guys. But yeah, that used to be my show.
Yeah, we filmed that in Canada.
Okay, wow. That's another fun fact.
That's
all right. Cool. So that wraps up my segment on the acting. I'm gonna pass it back over to Ken.
So, even though you're a musician, a writer, producer, I've got to read this list of artists that you work with: Aretha Franklin, Supremes, Stevie, of course, Denise Williams, Bill Withers, Temptations, Boz Scaggs, David Foster, Last Night in the Pips, Honeycomb, Herbie Hancock, Tina Turner, Don Ross, LaToya Jackson,
crazy list,
and New Edition. But my favorite song that you produced and wrote with Taka was "You Got the Love."
Yeah.
Oh my God! I mean, you know, every musician that I knew was trying to capture that lick. You know what I'm saying? That the field was doing.
That song started with that lick, by the way.
Yeah, I remember. Really? It was the number one. It was number one, and on the R&B charts, number 11 on the pop chart. But I
came up with that lick first. Then I just came up with the part. I was trying to do something like Barry White would do it. So I got the bass part and the fuzz on the bass to go together. That was a different kind of song. I've never had a song like that since. I mean, that's in its own world, that song.
It is, man. I mean, incredible song, man. Just the rhythm of that thing, you know. So I'm going to get it back to Shelly.
Thank you, Ken. Well, I'm gonna do a 360 and veer away from music for just a minute because I wanted to ask you if you remember, you and Verdine were both at a Grammy Board of Governors meeting in Santa Monica, and he came home so psyched that day because as he was leaving, he saw this crazy state-of-the-art car that I think only you had at the time. You know it's true. And maybe Lionel Richie later on, but I think you had the very first one. When was that a Tesla? Yeah, I think it was a Tesla. He said you drove him down Will Boulevard, and it didn't have what, an engine? You were controlling it by an iPad. What was this about?
Yeah, you could back in and out with your iPhone going out. But I'll never forget, at that time, I was so excited about the car. It was the fastest car in the world. So I put him in the front seat, and we had somebody else in the back seat. And I scared those guys to death. They saw
I bet.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. So I was telling them about that car. By the way, I don't know who did or didn't, but right then, you know, I bought a lot of that stock in that company, Tesla.
Oh, wow.
And I told my friends to do it. I don't know whether they did or not, but that stock has been doing really, really well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
How fast do they go?
Not the car, no matter how fast the car was, it's faster than the F1 Ferrari, but the stock went faster.
well, no, I'm saying, but did you see what's like miles per hour? You said it's what, like the fastest car around?
I know what you meant. You can do 0 to 60 in, like, at that time, 2.6 or 2.5 seconds.
Okay.
Now it's even faster. It's down to under 2 seconds now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a rock.
I'm sorry. Aren't you a pilot as well?
Yeah. I used to fly myself everywhere. You know, I haven't flown in a few years just because my kids started playing tennis and sports and basketball and football, and the plane was just sitting at the airport doing nothing. But I used to live in Mammoth Lake, so I used to fly back and forth like once, twice a week.
That's all right, man.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, I fly to Detroit City Airport or land at the, the other airport. It's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up.
Well,
that's all right.
Back to music. In 2014, you received the coveted star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That was phenomenal. Congratulations. And I think we have a photo of that.
Yes.
There you go. Now you're talking. That's by the way, out of any award ever, that's my favorite award, because when I was a kid, all I did was walk up and down Hollywood Boulevard just dreaming. How do you get your name? How do you get a star? And the word, back in Detroit, you hear, I want to be a star. Well, that means a Hollywood star. They invented a star. So in order to be a star, you got to be a star, I thought. So that was a huge dream for me, and I never thought I'd be able to get a star on Hollywood Boulevard. That, even now I just get in my car, and if I'm in that area, I got to drive by and get out of my car and stand there for 2 minutes, then get back.
Hey, why not? You heard it.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
That party, how about that party? We were cool with the party, weren't we? Yeah.
Oh,
George sang on Broadway and played. I mean, it was crazy. Denise sang. It was a lot of people.
Oh wow!
Insane.
Yeah.
We also have a photo. You, I think you were a presenter at the annual HMMA Awards, and we have a red carpet, right? I think Berdine was a presenter, also you too, right?
Yeah. Look at it.
Hey. a little self-indulgent, but
hey,
yeah, me and Berdine, we go way back too. I mean, I remember the first Earth, Wind and Fire concert that I saw. They had this song called "Love Is Alive," and he was opening for Stevie Wonder at Pine Knob. That's what we hooked up at. And Berdine was one of the first guys to record one of my songs on his group Pocket, so that was a big one for me.
Oh, Pocket, yeah. What a great group.
Yeah, that was one of my first releases ever. So that was a real important release for me. I didn't have anything out.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, didn't know that. Well, we want to talk a little bit about your new upcoming documentary. I guess it's soon to be released, and whatever projects go along with that. Yeah,
well, first of all, it's called Who You Gonna Call? I think that's the appropriate name. That makes it easy for everybody to remember.
Yeah.
It's a story about my life. There's the guy, Fran Strine. He directed this movie, Hired Gun, which really went off and did pretty well. So he said, the next film I want to do is a film on you, because he heard sort of my life story as we were traveling around. And I think he did a wonderful job. I can't wait for you to see the whole film. You've seen it, but I want everybody to see the film so you can see it's got a little bit of everything in it, And it's turned out well. And the music in there is original music from a new album that I'm creating too. And all of this album, ain't no hip hop on here. It's just 1980s music, early 80s music. It's real instruments, real drum sets, real people singing. So it's just very simple like that. It would have already been out now, but because of this virus thing, everybody's locked up and nobody knows what they're doing. They moved the Ghostbuster film, the original, Ghostbusters 4, whatever you want to call it. It's coming out next March. So I want my film to come out with the Ghostbusters film, because when we go do press, we should get all that press. And we're going to tie the record to that as well. So we had a record, the Ghostbusters film, and my film. So it should be a big year, 2021, unless they mess that up too with another.
Oh, Lord.
Any inside information you can give on the new Ghostbusters movie?
No, I don't know anything about it yet. They haven't even called me and wrote me a check yet. I was about to get one. I heard the director told me he's got the music in there. But then once they hold the film back, they hold my money back.
They ain't back.
Oh, yeah. Okay, they ain't getting that at the time either.
Yeah. The money's important.
That's right.
It's important.
Tazz, do we have a clip of Who You Gonna Call, or did we do that already?
What instruments do you play?
A clip of that.
How old are you?
23.
When did you start playing an
instrument?
instrument?
I think it's
About
trailer.
I was 8 years old.
What was the first instrument you ever played?
The clarinet.
Where were you on the night of July 4th, 13? You played with everybody in the world, have you not, at this point, practically?
Yeah, just about.
Name drop for me, quickly. Just roll off 15 names.
Diana Ross, Seals and Crofts, Barry White, Stevie Wonder, the Rolling Stones.
Stop.
Well, let me just tell you this. I've got about 29 or 30 really big records. Shaka Khan I wrote for, Barry White, big hits on Diana Ross, Patti LaBelle, New Edition, my own band Radio, Ray Parker Jr. If you check us out, we got a lot of hits. But the main thing I do is play the guitar. And I'm musically trained, played with lots and lots of artists. But I just think it's really, really funny that people look at the ghosts, they go, who you gonna call? And they think that, I don't know, I just woke up that afternoon and just wrote the song and went back to sleep. And by the way, why do you think they called me to write that song in the first place? So I love music. Music is my life. I've been playing the guitar since almost, I can't remember anything before that. So of course there's more to it than just who you gonna call. There you go. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Ray, let me ask you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shelly. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to ask. No, you go. Ray, you touched on that in the documentary about a lot of people knowing you for the Ghostbusters. Do you find that I guess a challenge or a blessing that, I mean, you're known for something that big, but you also want people to recognize the rest of your career, which you had before that and after that?
I see it as a blessing because first it makes everybody happy. Anybody who says who you gonna call, they usually have a smile on their face. And most of the people that say it are 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, and it's just unbelievably they got such a happy look on their face that I can't believe that here it is 35 years later, and the 6 to 7-year-old kids, they all know what this song is.
That's right.
So it's my favorite song only because it's not the money. It makes everybody happy and puts a smile on everybody's face. And so to me, that's the biggest blessing in the world, and I would never want to return. It's like getting the winning lotto ticket. I don't want to return that either.
Right.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
How many countries did that song go #1 in?
Yeah, #1 and #2 in 52 countries around the world. Right.
Nice.
Wow.
Amazing.
How many countries are in the world?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I think about half of them at least.
Yeah, right.
Wow. That's awesome.
That was insane. Well, the last question for me is that we have a photo of your beautiful, lovely family, and so I wanted you to name off your wife and your kids.
Oh, sure. Okay, let's start on the far left, facing us. That's Jericho. He's the baby. He's now 20 years old and 6'6.5". Next to him is his oldest brother. That's Little Ray. He's 34 and just got married about in November. Then that's my wife standing next to me, holding on to my arm. That's Elaine. I love this like crazy, crazy. Love her. If I had a chance, I'd marry her again tomorrow. And we've been together 30 years already. How about that? Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
And that's me in the middle, holding my star. Just elaborate this time. Just happy as I could be right there. Next to me is my second oldest son, Redmond. He's the kind of player to go. He likes too many girls, And then to his right is Gibson. And Gibson is the DJ now. He's playing music, studying in college, and he's now 22. But if you look now, Jericho and Gibson, they're just as tall as Redmond now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Wow.
4 big family. They have a good time. Yeah.
Beautiful family.
How tall are they? How tall?
Like 6'6", 6'7".
Wow.
What?
Wow. It's funny because you said they're 20-year-olds. They're 20 now?
Yeah, 20, 22, 32, and 34.
I remember you had gave me a call a few years ago, and you were taking them boys to school.
Yeah, exactly.
So that had to be what, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, I was their chauffeur.
Yeah. What you doing? I'm taking my boys to school.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, very beautiful family.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Toss it to you, Brandon.
Okay, well, I think it's time for our question and answer session from the audience. We do have a question from our Detroit associate, Mr. Drew Schultz. Let me put this up on the screen here.
Okay.
Said, curious, did Ray have a manager or business team at such a young age, or was he pursuing all of these opportunities entirely on his own? He just did so much.
Well, that's interesting because I didn't get a manager until I got with, Cavallo Ruffalo, which did Earth, Wind & Fire and Prince and everybody else too. But I didn't have a manager till I got them. But all of the early stuff I did all by myself. I was just like a go-getter guy. I wake up early in the morning and I have to get mine because if I didn't, I was going to run out of money and have no food to eat. So it was more
right. Got to get it.
This stuff had to happen, yeah. Then after that, I had the managers for a small number of years. Then I got rid of all managers and went back to doing it myself again.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome,
okay.
Man. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we've got a cool comment going down memory lane from Miss Linda Lane. Says, I was in 11th grade when A Woman Needs Love came out. I saw the video and every man, in parentheses, boy, had to look like Ray Parker Jr. if they were going to go out with me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that. Where was this beautiful woman at when I was available? I mean, where were you? Back in the I didn't have a girlfriend there. Come on, we could have done it.
Way back when. Yeah, folks, if you have a question, go ahead and pop it up now. We'll try to put it on the screen so Ray can answer it before we get on out of here.
Okay.
Wait, Ray, didn't you do that song last weekend with DJ Cassidy?
Yes, yeah, that's right. We did that song. Yeah,
I watched on Pass the Mic. That was great. I watched it.
Yeah, that's funny what he did.
Yeah, I know, right?
We've got a personal question from Chuck Etterson,
personal
former keyboard.
Oh, Charles. What up, Charles?
Kid is not my son.
This guy is wild.
Ray, I remember when you first left Detroit for New York and to audition for Stevie. And did you come back to Detroit with a canary yellow Lincoln Continental?
Well, you almost got the story right, but I was only in New York when Stevie was staying there,
Okay.
So then after I quit the band, I moved back to Detroit and bought a gold Lincoln. Then I took the gold Lincoln and drove that to California.
Okay.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We've got a question from Rhonda Bedekian. How did you meet?
Oh, yeah, we know her. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How did you meet Fran? By the way, Fran Strine is the director of the film, of my documentary. And I met him when he was filming the other documentary, Hired Gun. And so a bunch of my friends were in it, and they said, hey, call Ray. He's a studio musician, too. So he called me, and that's how I actually met him, is over my house. They were filming me. And I remember looking at me in that film thinking, man, you look a little sleepy. And I was tired because I had just flew in from Japan, earlier that day. And so they filmed me right as I landed. And that's how I got it. I just made it to get a clip into the film.
Nice.
Let's see here. Got a comment from our to me and Midas. She's the mother of the group with Chairmen of the Board, Joyce Jacobs. She said we danced every night in Greensboro to Ray Parker Jr. Daddy-O.
Right. Daddy-O. I've been there. I've been to Greensboro, but they didn't take me to Daddy-O's. Okay, if it's still there, let's go. As soon as the stuff is over, let's go.
Gas the plane up.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right,
folks. While you're on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe. We greatly appreciate you guys so much, especially our faithful viewers, week in, week out.
Thank you.
He's a great film.
Fran Strine is a great film. I agree. He did a wonderful job. I think he's a really, really good filmmaker. In fact, we're going to make 10 more documentaries, but we just held up by this virus. I can't talk to anybody to do anything now because they're all stuck, We got to get back to make a few more.
Absolutely.
Oh, really quick. I don't know, Ken, do you want to now, Ray? As you know, we have covered one of your songs by radio. Really? Chairman of the Board. We did a version of that song. And
I haven't heard that now. Come on. Y'all holding out.
I got to get it to you. We did a cover of Jack and Jill. And I think that's what Drew was talking about.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And we've gotten a lot of response.
What's up, Drew?
And the way that song came about was the fact that there was a DJ in this market who was suffering from Alzheimer's.
Okay.
And the deal was his son came up with the idea of picking like 10 of his dad's best records.
Right.
He came to me and asked me, they gave me 4 songs. He said, which one you want to do? I said, this one right here. Because we go way back to Detroit. We're going to do Jack and Jill. And thanks for letting us cover the song, man.
Yeah, well, where's the clip? I hope y'all got a clip of that.
You know what? We'll send it to you. We'll get it to you.
You guys are stumbling. We should have that clip right now. What y'all doing?
It's all about you, Ray. We can't, it's all about you.
You would definitely get it, man.
Okay.
And I had to sing all those high parts on that song.
Yeah.
Those vocal arrangements, it's way up there.
And Jerry Knight can get way up there with it. That's him hitting those harshness.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We got one more question from Drew Schultz.
All right.
About the business side of things. Ray, did you hook up with a publishing company at a young age, or did you shop your songs personally to these artists, or just knowing them through your guitar playing?
Well, I never had a publishing deal, so I shopped everything personally, and I still do so even today. I've never had an administration of publishing or anything. I've always done it myself and with a girl that helps me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I guess that's a good way to keep track.
Less is more.
In my house, in my name, so I don't have to audit the books of the company and fight with them later. So like that way, I get to make all the decisions. It's been good so far.
Yeah, well, not too bad, not too shabby.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
All right.
Well, I think that's it for the questions.
Q&A.
Pretty much everything. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Oh, so Ray, but before we proceed, won't give our viewers at home, where they can find you, your website, social media links, and things like that.
By the way, I started early, so everything is under my name. And so if you're on Instagram, you go to Ray Parker Jr. Look for the verification blue thing, so you got the right.
Oh yeah. You don't want to find the fakos, the Fukazis.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the same thing on Facebook and Twitter. Make sure you're on the official Ray Parker Jr. site, so you're getting the real thing. And then I got a website too, but I got to redo my website. I haven't been there in a long time. Ever since all this social media started, your own personal website, it's not a lot of traffic going there no more. So it's driving through other stuff. So I'm trying. My sons, they're trying to keep me up with all this stuff. Twitter, TikTok. Every time I click a button, I'm somewhere I've never been before. In another world. So
I actually found you on Facebook a couple of days ago. I sent you a friend request on Facebook.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's see. Before we get out of here, as we're coming to a close, we want to let you guys know that next week, I guess we're gonna be dipping our chicken tender twice, so to speak. We got a special edition on Wednesday, as well as our normally scheduled program on Thursday. So just going back to Ray, your situation with the riots and dealing with police brutality and all that stuff, we know that those situations are still occurring today.
Yeah, big time.
So Wednesday, we've set aside a portion of time to have a discussion, as well as educate our audience regarding Black Lives Matter. And we know things have happened, very recently, even in the midst of this coronavirus. And we haven't said anything thus far, but we would like to, use our platform to give our point of view regarding those situations. So we will be doing that next Wednesday, folks. So come tune in. We got special guests. Should I say who the special guests will be now, or we keep it?
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that.
I know we got Mr. Jabril Huff coming on. Any other guests as of now?
So far, Jabril Huff.
Okay. But we're basically gonna have a roundtable discussion and just educate those who may not be familiar to what that term means. What I like to tell people is, say you got a bunch of houses in the neighborhood, because the argument is always all lives matter, which we already know that, but right. Say you got a bunch of houses in the neighborhood but you got one house that's on fire. So you're gonna turn your attention to that one house that's on fire, put that fire out, and save that family. And that's that. And as far as an analogy, that's the simplest way I can explain it until we get into it next week. So definitely stay tuned. It's gonna be a great one. And who do we have on Thursday next week, kid?
So next week we have a legendary singer-songwriter, Ron Dante, from the Archies. Remember the band?
Yeah, the Archies.
Yeah. So he's going to be on with us, and we want to remind everybody to subscribe and like our channel.
Yes, indeed. Well, Mr. Ray Parker Jr.
Tazz, hold on. Okay. A second. Tazz, do we have an intro clip to our Black Lives Matter?
We do. Yes, we do.
All right.
Turn it into energy.
To kneel. We're being loud. We're changing the world.
Then we're going to scream louder and louder, and we're not going to stop until something is done. Justice! Now!
Let's get it right, man. Today is the day. He did what?
Daddy changed the world.
Daddy changed the world.
Well, it's amazing to see that many people in Amsterdam and other countries around the world, Finland.
You know what? That's the same exact thing I said. Amsterdam, really, that hit me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard that people all over the world are watching this crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, and these things have been going on for decades, centuries, what have you. But see, now we're in a technological age where video can be captured.
That's right.
So now it's a real thing. You can't just sweep it under the rug. You can't just ignore it. It's a real thing. And so, again, just to reiterate, we feel it's our duty to use our platform simply just to educate what that means and give people the insight of what of people's experiences, maybe dealing with racism, police brutality, any of those things that encompasses the message that we're trying to convey on next Wednesday,
right,
as well as next Thursday.
Yeah.
So as usual, you guys got any closing words before we get out of here?
Well, I'd just like to thank y'all very much. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh man, I had a ball. Thank you. Thank you for coming on with us.
Those clip back some memories and stuff. I saw some old stuff, Now I gotta go listen to Jack and Jill by Chairman of the Board.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure Ken gets that to you.
There you go.
Oh, also, folks, the Chairman of the Board will be performing along with the executives tomorrow in Oak Island, North Carolina. Yeah. 6:30 is the show time. 6:30 to 8:30, if I'm not mistaken, guys.
Yes.
In Oak Island, North Carolina. You can go on the chairmenoftheboard.com and get all the details, or hit Ken up on Facebook. So yeah, we're excited, man. It'll be our first opportunity to get out since this COVID-19 is hit. We will, for all of those who are asking us, we will be following the safety precautions. We will be masking up. I got my book bag, got my mask ready, sanitizer and all of that good stuff. So it'll just be cool to get out. We'll be outdoors. It'll be cool to get out and play and, give a little bit of healing to the world, even if it's only for a couple hours. You dig?
So Ray, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
Yes, indeed.
Man. And I want to thank you personally for the encouraging phone call you gave me a few years ago.
Yeah.
Now he's laughing about
it. Yeah. Well, to all of our viewers at home on Facebook as well as YouTube in the US and UK and all across the world, thank you so much for tuning in and supporting us week after week. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We will be back with a double edition of That's My Story next week, Wednesday at 6 p.m. with the Black Lives Matter episode, and our normal episode at 6 p.m. on Thursday. Tell your friends. God bless you. Good night.
Thank you, Ray. Love you.